Hi and welcome back to the fourth video on Prisma Access Browser, where we're going to look at controlling the security aspects of it and the upload and download and so on, so we can really start to secure this browser very quickly, very easily. Okay, so going to come back to our policy rules, which is we've got on SCM, and of course we've got browser customization, which we went through, and then browser security. So browser security is really dealing with the transactional stuff, so connectivity, viruses, that type of thing. All our standard controls that we'd have for making sure that we can't have, say for instance, blocking JavaScript so that we can't start running malicious JavaScripts in the background, and screencasting we saw was in there as well. So then we're going to go to access and data control. We've got two policies here. By default, we have the allow web access, allow any internet and SaaS destinations, and we've got what we can do in there and what we can't do. Okay, what we're going to do, just these are all, you can click on these to filter stuff. So when you've got a lot of you have a lot of rules and stuff, you can easily then filter down. And this is pretty much how it's being presented across all Palo Alto stuff now, really, especially with an SCM. It's very easy to very quickly filter what you want to see. So we're going to add a rule, and our rule is going to be, we're going to call this locked down. Sorry, we're going to call this Lawrence locked down rule, which it technically isn't, but there you go. Then we've got a description as well. So restricted policy for me. Okay, so then again, we go through again, so we've got our scope, and remember as well that we can also, so what you can do as well, you've got active monitoring. A really good thing is you can set this to monitor, so you can see what would have happened, so you can see the results of the policy without it actually having any effect, which is brilliant as well. I mean, I'd love to see this. I'd love to see this now pop up in other places as well. So you've got a monitor, specifically just a monitoring rule as well to see what would go across it. Active, so it'd be applied to all the end users, and rule not be applied to end users. Sorry, not all, but the ones that you select. So we're going to have this active, and again, say we can go through the side here, and we've got this little line here as well that says where we are, or we can just click here. So we've got next scope, so you can build it sort of very easily, very quickly. So we're going to select this for me, okay, and then we're going to go destinations. So here we have internet and SaaS applications, any internet and SaaS, or custom. So we can enable that, any internet and SaaS, or we can look at the custom as well. So you can say, okay, when I'm using these applications and SaaS, there's certain things I can't do. I can't upload or download, and you could build really granular policies with that. But what we're going to do is going to go any internet and SaaS for that one. Website classification again, so we can, if we go to customize, we've got the website classifications that you're used to, and as well it actually has malicious, benign, and then you've got URL risk level as well. They're all selectable, and you can find classification by URL, and then select also if I wanted to find, say, mode 44. Okay, we can see that mine is computer and internet info, and the risk level is low. And that's something else as well that's very, very good, because now when you're putting stuff in, you can check it as you put it in. But what we're going to do to demonstrate this, we're going to do the file download and so on, and we're going to demonstrate the two. So this is for me. So I'm going to say from here, I'm going to pick paloaltonetworks.com. Okay, and I'm going to add that, and then that's an added URL as it is. Again, if you had private applications, you could select private applications, and any private application viewed as being any private applications as we decided before, so stuff that's on-prem and so on, or specific, and then you would create your private apps there. And then application groups there, so these are the same as before, application groups as, say, communication apps, which contains various communication apps. And you enable them by clicking that there, and you can have multiple as well. Okay, so I've decided for that URL, for paloaltonetworks.com, for me specifically, I'm going to allow it. I've got a bypass time frame, so if I wanted to prompt as well, so it's warn and allow to proceed, with a reason or a permission request, so you can ask permission for it as well. And then we have the bypass time frame, so how long after I've received that permission or I've added that reason or whatever, how long can I then access for without doing that again? But we're going to go allow. Again, requiring MFA is if you need the MFA multi-factor authentication to access the web. And then it enforce Prisma Access browser extension and so on, and pick a label and so on. Login controls is control logging into applications with a login form. So do you want to control for allow and all? Any login attempt will be allowed, any login attempt will be blocked, login with specific email domains, looking at how you're logging into the anything within these particular sites or these applications or everything. And data controls, and this is where we're going to do the demonstration because this is going to be the easiest one to go for. So for me, I am going to allow my my file downloads, and then for the other user, we're not going to. But you can control here. So file upload. So clipboard, we're going to allow. Let's allow clipboard anywhere. So copy and paste data in and out. Data out. Sorry. Allow anywhere. Copy and paste data in. We're going to allow. Okay. So we can copy and paste data in and out. And we can actually say we can get more granular and say for prompts for pasting data in, are you sure you want to do this, that type of thing, or block permit only within the rules web application. So you can block it unless it's within that application. Okay, typing guard, control typing sensitive information. Again, this is all down to DLP. And then you can have a pop-up notification or none. You can enable it or disable it. So we're blocking that, and then we set the dialog text for the customized block messages. And again, we see we have the link there to the MITRE article on the same thing. So we're going to cancel that. Printing, whether we can print, can we take a screenshot? So it's allow protected, and then it comes up and tells you exactly what that means. Allow capture only by the browser's built-in snipping tool. Any other screen recordings will be blocked. So you can't screenshot it. We're going to allow that, or we can block it. And then, and what can be used as well? Is the camera available? So we can block the camera, and we can block the microphone. Okay. So malware protection, malicious file protection. So prevent or detect download, upload of malicious files from Prisma Access browser. Enable, which as we saw before is going to be the wildfire. So that's going to be, so we can, so let's detect only. And then we're going to use advanced wildfire because that's what we've got. And then it shows us our limits. Our limits are the 300 meg, which is actually better for, better than on the firewalls. And then we've got our other options down there, which are self-explanatory. And then upon file upload or download. Okay, so we've set that for there. Hang on here, I didn't continue on further down. Sorry, everybody. So where we got to there. Okay, so then when contains, and then we're setting specific for data leakage, specific data patterns, and then we've got our built-in ones. Which we can pick, so GDPR, can pick that, and then we've got data patterns where we can start to look at custom data patterns and create our custom data patterns as you would with the DLP for the normal firewall. And then the log level is anonymized, and again the log levels are sort of changeable as well, so they're configurable, so only affects enhanced, user fully logged with additional visibility enhancements, event recording. Will include a short video recording of the end user's screen and before after the activity. And so this is where you'd have to then start looking at, do we really want to, we need to make sure that's what we're going to be comfortable with and that a user's going to be comfortable with it, because what you're now saying is I'm going to record your desktop during this period. So whatever else is on the desktop could also be recorded. Anonymized, user access rights are logged without personal data. Now, I'd be tempted to say that you do actually want it fully logged. And extract the URL keys for activity login because you'd want to do that anyway, wouldn't you? Okay, so that's now been pushed out. So if we come to mine, we'll just have a look and see at the just reset it. Okay, so on here we've still got exactly the same. If we go to Palo Alto Networks.com. Okay, we'll go to paloaltonetworks.com, and then if we start looking at the policy for here, now we've still got capture and clipboard is allowed, developer tools are still blocked. But when we go to capture, we can see now that the camera is blocked, the microphone is blocked, and the casting is blocked. Whereas if I come back to my home page, I can see that only casting is blocked. If we go to Tech Docs Palo Alto, let's go next generation firewall, and then let's see if we can download the PDF. We get to download the PDF, or get to view the PDF, and we can download it. So you see, you saw the fact that it was then scanned by the engine. Okay, so now if we go to, if we go back to our thing, back to SCM. Okay, so we're going to clone this rule, and we're going to call this the HR further restricted. And we're going to change the scope. So we'll go to that one again. So we change the scope, pull me, put user 1 in there. Okay. And then we're going to do exactly the same for the Palo Alto Networks. And again, you can see how you can build this up. It's not so difficult. We're going to leave the login controls exactly as they are. And then we're going to look at the data controls. So what we're going to do now with the file download, just to show this, is what we're going to do is we're going to block it. Any file, because we want to just block it to show that, really, to demonstrate that. Save that. And now for user 1 and Palo Alto Networks, now we've set that up so we can see as well in here. So we've got file download allow in here. We can copy and paste data in and out. Yeah, that's fine. And then we have copy and paste data in and out allow. Let's just change that as well. Let's just change the copy and paste data, which is clipboard. So we want to block and block. Excluding URL address bar means that we can still paste stuff into the URL. So if somebody gives you a URL, you don't have to type it all out. I think that's a really good thing. Okay, so now we've got our user 1, and I've edited this slightly because there was a bit of an issue before, so I've edited that slightly. So now if we go to docs.paloaltonetworks.com and we look on our policy, we can see on our web page, developer tools are still blocked, but now we've got a dot next to all these as well. So file downloads are blocked, capture is blocked, and clipboard is blocked. So if we try and select some data, so let's just get a clipboard up. We get this pasting this data from Prisma Access Browser is prohibited. So we can't do that. And if we go to download it, we can view it. But if we go to download, the file download is not allowed, and then we get that blocked. Notification there, which again is configurable. You can configure stuff like that. So that's the access and data control, really. Pretty much when you look at it, you've got you can configure stuff. You can change what you want, to happen based on users, based on device groups, based on where they're going, or if something contains a certain type of content or something like that. We can control whether they can print it. We can read-only web page, so you control post submit data into web applications. So you can't send any data to it, and then malicious file protection say is enabled on Wildfire. So that is the data controls. Again, you could have, so for, we could just put in like a base standard. I don't know if there's actually in here. So do we have? No. So we could put our base policy. So our base policy. Okay, so now we've done any user and any groups. We're going to go next to our destinations, and then on the internet. So let's make this our standard web policy. So it blocking sort of malicious sites and sites that we don't want people to go to. So we can come in here, and again we have our adult abuse drugs. You could go for malicious as well. So command and control, greyware, malware, phishing, ransomware, scanning activity, have all those. Reselect the adult one. Gambling, people tend to block. Yeah, you get the idea. So it's basically, this is your way of your standard categories and so on. Once that's added, that's all in there, and we are going to then block the access to that. So we're going to say, okay, we're going to block the access to that with allow. That's going to be block to those destinations, and then log level. I think we'd switch it on, and then query parameters, and then save anyway. Okay, so now if any of our users, either one of them want to go to, we blocked gambling, didn't we? So if we want to go to gambling.com, that's a restricted website, that's blocked, and exactly the same now for our other user. Although our other user hasn't picked it up, so let's just reload that, just to show. I'll do a soft reset. And now that's restricted, and we can see it's restricted. It does pass out very quickly to the browsers when you do the policy, but obviously a separate refresh is the quickest way. So that's the access and data controls. Profiles are pretty much there. They're basically there for you to have a block of code. So we can block all extensions, for instance. And when you look, you see you've got made by Talon, modified by Talon, and then we can block all the extensions for browser security. Block casting. Basically, you can add them into a rule. Is essentially what we're saying.